Recently, Susanna from Good Morning Britain bought Piers Morgan one of the new Greg's Vegan Steak Bakes. Now they did a segment of it that had several relevant topics to veganism. Let's have a listen.
While I was away, lots of vegan-related stuff went on, obviously. They always do it when I'm on holiday.
Hang on. You don't have a vegan representative. How about I sit in on this one? Hey, how you doing? Hey, thanks for having me. Hey, how you doing, Piers?
Really?
Yes, Piers, really. Now, shall we get on with it?
My favourite was the guy who's won the right because he's an ethical vegan.
You can no longer discriminate against
So
him.
you can't discriminate against him because he's a vegan. It's a belief. Right? Well, my belief is eating meat, right? I believe it sustains the planet.
Nobody is discriminating.
I believe that
against
vegans
pigs.
are unethical because they all eat things like almonds, which of course destroy billions of bees and so on. So there's a lot of hypocrisy and unethical activity around being a ethical vegan.
Piers, you don't have to eat almonds and avocados to be vegan. I completely agree we should be mindful about where our food comes from. However, to conflate our food sourcing with doing what we can to prevent rights violations through veganism is just wrong and misleading.
They're trying to save animals, by the way.
My question is this: if I now get discriminated against by vegans for being a meat eater,
How would you be discriminated
is that a
against?
breach of my ethical rights and beliefs?
What you mean is you want to storm into a vegan restaurant and demand that they serve
Well,
you
they
a
do that.
bleeding
They do
slab
that
of
to
meat.
meat-eating restaurants, right? And because they're now deemed ethical and it's their belief, if my belief is that eating meat is good for the planet, which I think it is,
Yeah.
and it's good for sustainability, and that a strict vegan diet is bad for you, and all those things, and actually is hypocritical and unethical.
That makes my heart hurt.
Oh, does it? That little critter? Does it? Oh, please. You're a pescatarian, right? You eat fish. You don't mind bashing fish on the head and eating those, right?
No,
because
it's
you're
more the fat.
so
Actually,
right.
It's more the fat than meat.
God, I can't have anything tasty. My question for this is, if I was to storm a vegan restaurant tonight and just sit there and demand to have meat,
Would they be discriminating against you
if they react to the way they normally react, which is with blind fury, and discriminate against me, am I then allowed to go to court and claim that I'm being discriminated?
Piers, you're trying to do the same thing again, and you're trying to compare two things as if they're the same when they're just simply not. To help frame this new law is designed to help prevent discrimination towards vegans when it comes to employment, education, and provision of goods and services. So Piers, why are you conflating someone allegedly being fired because they're vegan with going into a vegan restaurant and asking to eat the flesh of other animals? That would be like me going into a tire store asking for a haircut, or going into a restaurant in the afternoon and demanding they serve me breakfast.
Hi, can I help you?
Yes, I'd like a ham and cheese omelet and more wham fries.
I'm sorry, we stopped serving breakfast, but we are on the lunch menu now.
I want breakfast.
Well, you can't have it, we're not serving it.
I think you should go to court anyway.
Yeah.
And do it as a test case. But in the meantime, I have for you a Greg's vegan steak bake.
Right. The thing, again, nobody wanted, right? So they could...
When you say nobody wanted it, when they launched their vegan sausage
their
roll,
vegan
it was one
sausage
of the
roll.
most popular things that they ever
People were
sold.
queuing around the block for
Here's the
steak
vegan
bake.
sausage roll, which is, as I always remind people, it's
Delicious.
more calories than a McDonald's cheeseburger. So it's obviously not good for you, right?
Piers, I don't think anyone is advocating going into Greg's and getting a vegan steak bake or a vegan sausage roll for their health. It's simply to help people who are transitioning or maybe vegan curious. I also think this brings up an interesting question when it comes to where vegans choose to spend their money, or as I like to refer to it as spendivism. Should there be a D in spendivism? Well, I guess spentivism would be past tense, so spendivism would be present and future tense, perhaps. Yeah, let's go with the D, spendivism. Now, I view where we spend our money as more of a spectrum, but perhaps we can get into that in another video. So if you'd like me to talk more about that, let me know in the comments below.
And it's
No,
sold...
but people aren't eating them because they're good for you.
Yeah,
they're eating them because they're good for animals.
I know people are running around going, I'm a vegan, look at me, I'm all virtuous, here's my little sausage roll.
Piers, I don't know why you think vegans come across as being virtuous. I appreciate we have to be mindful about the way we present ourselves. However, to me, the reason I choose to respect others' rights through veganism is because I don't think I'm better than anyone else, including our animal cousins. I can't help but wonder if this might say more about you than it does about us, and that you might be more aligned with the ethics of the philosophy of animal rights than you think you are. I mean, you even advocate for insects' rights, so why not cows, pigs, chickens, fishes, and so on?
Why is it called a sausage roll when sausage is a meat product, right?
All right, I'm going to tag in vegan author and speaker Colleen Patrick Gaudreau to respond to this one. I apologize, Colleen, if I said your last name wrong.
The word meat is an Old English word that originally referred to solid food, and we have remnants of that today when we say coconut meat or the meat of a nut, and so I eat plant-based meat.
One.
Because you can have a vegetarian sausage.
But because I pointed out the bleeding obvious, they sold 1 billion sausage rolls. Now they come up with a steak, what's it called?
A vegan steak bake.
Steak bake,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's not a steak.
No, it's
If you
made
Google
from vegan
steak, if you Google steak, a steak is a cut of meat or fish. It's not vegan or vegetarian.
Actually, Piers, steak has to do with the process of roasting. It has nothing to do with what or who you're roasting. For instance, cauliflower steaks that are delicious, and I highly recommend you try one.
Okay, but if you can have fish steak, why can't you have
No,
vegan
that
steak?
is a steak.
Yes.
That is a steak.
Yes.
This is not. This
Why
is
isn't
actually non-meat, and they should not be using meat terminology to sell non-meat products.
To be fair, I think you have a point, because that doesn't look like steak. That looks like mince.
Okay, Piers, so I think you're wrong about the steak thing, but I think this highlights a bigger problem. We're talking about doing what we can to prevent the pervasive and completely unnecessary violation of our animal cousins' basic moral rights. And all you want to do is talk about the words we're using to describe our vegan food? Give me a break. The fact you're choosing to focus on this shows how little you have to offer in response to the case for animal rights.
Well, it's not steak.
So it's a vegan corn mince bake.
As I always say, in France, they have banned any vegan vegetarian companies from using meat language to
we're
sell
not in France,
their
though,
product.
are we?
We should be. I tell you, we should be.
Yeah, just because it's legal makes it moral. I mean, are you serious? Are you intentionally conflating moral versus legal rights? I mean, have you completely forgotten about the myriad of times in history where something has been allowed to do legally, but it's completely immoral? I mean, seriously, are we being serious here?
Why should we be?
Because we'd drink better wine, we'd eat better food, everyone would look better, they'd be more attractive. Lots of things going for it in France.
Why don't you just go and move to France?
French people are better
Yes,
looking. Let's just face it. French people are better looking. They walk more, they're more active, they don't eat rubbish like this.
You can't call it rubbish without trying it. You should try it, and then you
try it.
will
I'm
know.
not gonna try it with
because
vomit
you
last time.
You
Charlotte,
can't
I think we
dismiss
know.
it
I think
without
we know
trying
what's.
it.
Ah, Piers, don't tell me you're one of those people that won't eat food just because it's vegan. I mean, does your food require rights violations in it?
You want a carrot?
Oh, thanks.
It's vegan.
Seriously though, if someone seems closed-minded about veganism, there's probably better places where we can be focusing our energy. Honestly, Piers seems to do such a great job promoting veganism.
But because I pointed out the bleeding obvious, they sold 1 billion sausage rolls.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's some sort of secret vegan.
That is not a
if he tries
steak,
it.
and that is not a sausage roll. Sausage roll has meat in it. Steaks are meat or fish products. They're not vegan, vegetarian products.
So
and it's a total con. You lot are all falling for it.
Actually, Piers, I think a bigger con would be tricking an entire society into supporting something that we don't necessarily agree with and don't have a single valid moral justification for. Oh wait.
There were queues round the block at some Greggs in Newcastle. Probably all people they'd paid to be there, right? And you're all falling for it.
What
for
do you
these
mean falling for what?
Salt-laden, pastry-dosed, worse calorie than McDonald's garbage.
Greg's.
I actually agree with you a bit here, Piers. What? I mean, I think oftentimes we go out to eat and have very little, if any, visibility of the nutritional content of the food we're eating. However, this is not the focus of respecting others' rights through veganism, and you're going off topic once again.
But you're all falling for
A
it.
Greg's steak bake has 408 calories. A Greg's vegan steak bake has 380 calories. So what are you on about?
They're both very heavy on calorie.
Well,
There's
you've
nothing
gotta
virtuous. Nothing
A woman's
virtuous.
got to eat.
There's nothing virtuous about the Greg's steak bake.
Well, it saves cows, doesn't it?
Eh?
Saves cows.
Apparently, each vegan saves 200 animals.
Okay, so there's a couple more minutes to this segment. I'll include the link below in case you want to watch the whole thing, but to be honest, I think we already hit on the main points. I'd love to know what you think. Do you think vegans should be able to call what they eat meat? What do you think about the new ruling that will help prevent vegans against discrimination? I'm also massively overdue for an updated language video, so if you want to see that or anything else, please let me know in the comments. I hope you're all doing well and that your 2020s are off to a good start, so let's make this a good one for us and all animals. Do you want to miss out on the next video? I didn't think so. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. See you in the next one. So Piers, why are you conflating Apologies, Colin. Apologize. Colin. I apologize. Seriously though, if someone... Something about responding to Piers just wears me out. It's just so ridiculous. Thanks for watching, and for free support for new vegans and free resources such as a discussion guide and language document, check out veganinteractions.com.